Hey guys, CR Caldwell here. Today we're going to be talking about Midjourney AI generated art and the new Midjourney 5 feature, which is the tile feature, which is really an older feature that they've brought back for version 5. And we're going to be talking about how that can really make your life just a whole lot easier if you make all over print products for your print on demand business, or if you're thinking about introducing all over print AOP product lines to your stores, like your Shopify or Etsy store, or something like a Redbubble shop that does it already, and how you can have tiled art that is seamless with Midjourney 5, how it's all so much easier than it was before. And I'll show you some examples and case studies, and then open it up for questions from you guys. So let's get started. This is Midjourney. I'll have a card here to tell you a little bit about how to get set up with that. This is the program that uses AI to generate art. If you have a paid subscription to this, which starts at I think about $10 or something like that per month, then you could use commercial art, or use the art that you generate for commercial purposes, such as your print on demand business. And what we're going to do is go into a couple of examples of creating some seamless tiled art and how we put that on clothing, like one of my best sellers, swimwear. So it's easy to do t-shirts, and a lot of people focus on t-shirts. One of my best margin items, and certainly my best margin item that is not jewelry, is swimwear. I don't know what my average is, but it's probably somewhere between $25 to $35 US net margin per item sold for personalized or a customized order of any kind of swimwear, or also some of these other similar items that could apply, like leggings and dresses and a whole range of all over print products that have more complex templates. And this has another side benefit for all of you out there who are worried about the copycats just scraping all your artwork and sticking it on a t-shirt for themselves and using bots and things like that to scrape the artwork. Well, if you do have art that you put on a template that is not just a rectangle for a t-shirt, but something that's a complex all over print design, the template design, then it's going to be a lot more difficult for just some kind of a bot or an inexperienced print on demand kind of content creator to kind of scrape that or copy that pixel for pixel, because the template requires that the pattern be created seamlessly or be created specifically for the template, and not just, you know, screen captured from the mock-up. You could do that for a t-shirt if it's inside a rectangle, but you can't do that for a swimsuit. So there's a huge insurance there on one of your high margin items that allows you potentially to protect your business, and someone needs to have the skill to work with the template, and it's not that difficult. One of the biggest problems was creating a seamless design, so the different parts of the template, like the front and the back, or the top and the bottom if you're talking about a bikini, for example, well, that required that, you know, the sides match up and the seams match up and things like that. So you still have to worry about that with a seamless design, depending on what part of the tile is meeting what part of the tile, if it's not in a regular grid. But it's just drastically easier than having to customize every inch of the template and the artwork for how it's going to fit on the template to make sure the customer gets a good and consistent product. I'm going to show you guys a quick kind of example and how that can benefit your business. So here is from my own Etsy shop. This is my own customer here, so I have kind of redacted, whited out a lot of the information on here, so that, you know, to protect the customer and also to protect my own product niche. And just to show you guys a little bit about what kind of this is about, we see that I got an order based on an ad. That's this little megaphone here, or this little whatever cone, and I received information based on a personalization option that I put into the listing on my Etsy shop, and I mixed and matched, which is a huge thing to do for any two-piece swimwear, because people are commonly different sizes on tops and bottoms. If you're not doing that, you need to start today to allow mix and match options on all of your two-piece swimwear. and you'll find that your reviews will be much higher, you'll get fewer returns, your customers will be much happier and more likely to be repeat buyers. As you can see, this customer was a repeat buyer, and that's what this little star, 1 star, means. It means it's not a 1-star review, it's a repeat buyer on Etsy when you see it over top of the price. I did as well offer coupon codes for various reasons at various times in the life cycle of this kind of campaign or customer. So we've got just an initial campaign that I had here, coupon, and then another coupon that I send them to get them to come back. And also, another campaign that I was doing down here. As you can see, they left me reviews, 5-star reviews on their subsequent orders, and they continued to leave customization, personalization comments, and that could also result in back and forth after the fact. So they leave you a message, you've engaged them when they leave that personalization comment when they place the order, and then you can start a dialogue with them. But it's a nice icebreaker as well, and it gives you an idea of what you want to do, and you could even come to them with something on specs, a piece of artwork that you generated in Midjourney in just a couple of minutes based on the information they put in that personalization box, and then in half an hour you could have a mock-up for them ready, and you could place that order, whereas the whole cycle of that, if it's a customized order, might have taken a couple of days at least before, or longer if you are outsourcing. So looking at the price here in Canadian, it's around $70, $65 to $71 gross, and that left me American with around $30 net profit per sale here. And there's not too much I'm going to tell you about this. This is just one example of kind of the idea that a quick turnaround and kind of knowing how to be responsive to the customer on a kind of a less competitive niche can have a more loyal customer, because they can't just go anywhere and get the same level of service or the same type of product that you've shown that you can provide for them. And now you can do it more easily than ever with Midjourney tile features. Cool thing about this is you just put -- tile after the prompt that you're going to put in Midjourney, and it will also put -- 5, which denotes the new version of Midjourney automatically. So even if your settings are wrong, when you use this -- tile feature, it's going to automatically default for that prompt to version 5, so you don't have to worry about kind of the prompt being incompatible with the version that you have in your settings if you're still using version 4. This will take care of it just by using the -- tile prompt. So quickly, let's just take a look at something. With version 5, things are already upscaled, so kind of the time that it takes you to get the upscaled art, it's going to be really quick, and you may still want to take it to an external upsizer like we talk about in one of the previous videos that I have. Maybe I'll have a card showing up right here, but I'll have everything in the description notes as well for where you can find these resources and some more kind of follow-up or more details about stuff I'm talking about right now. If you're just starting out a product line and you don't really know where to begin, you can use a prompt helper to get you inspired, and it's something that I think can be really helpful. So if you go to the Midjourney, the MJ prompt tool, you could just go to something like styles and use some of these types of words and language when you're talking about the theme that you want on a pattern. You don't need to have as complex of a scene when you're creating a seamless tiled pattern. So I think from my point of view, it could be a lot easier, and there could be some trial and error involved compared with making like a really complex oil painting style piece of art. So that's one big advantage to doing this, is kind of that there has to be a certain simplicity to it, but in some cases there may be an elegance to it as well that you wouldn't find in some kind of weird piece of AI art that could be just a little bit unusual or not quite natural looking. Although with version 5 we see a lot of these things have been worked out, things like how people look, representations of like actual human beings and their hands and things like that look a lot more realistic with Midjourney version 5, which has just recently come out. Going to Etsy, the next thing you could do is just to type in swimsuit into the Etsy search bar, and you'll see things to kind of give you some inspiration. But really one thing you'll notice is that a lot of the competition, which some of these will be selling reasonably well, it's really not that great in a lot of cases. So some of these people, they're not using AI generated art for their patterns yet. So you may see a lot of problems with how their art kind of meets and kind of inconsistencies in how the pattern meets. When you're using the template, you could still, like I said, if it's not like in a grid pattern, which a swimsuit won't be, you could still have to be careful on how these things are fitting. And you may need to use an editor like Photoshop or something like that to make sure that when you're using the template, that in a non-grid, a non kind of you know, perpendicular type of thing where your seams are meeting, that you've still got a nice looking pattern. That being said, there may be a lot of room for improvement in some of these things. You'll see in almost every case, the way that these patterns are made, it looks like there's some room for improvement, even when you've got a really nice design that's probably selling really well. And a lot of these are just for the PDF templates for people making it. When you type in pattern to the search bar, you're going to get a lot of like textile patterns, as well as prints on like the actual clothing. So in terms of launching a product like this yourself, so once you signed up for Midjourney and you have added the Midjourney bot to your Discord, and again, I've got another video on that you guys can watch to get some more details on that, then you can start generating this art and you can basically add it to products that you can find on places like Printful and Printify, which are print-on-demand platforms, or kind of, in the case of Printify, a whole bunch of platforms put together under one umbrella that can give you many different sources of swimwear, many different companies and providers, right? And you've got things like one-piece and two-piece bikinis, and even different types of swimwear that probably aren't as popular, but could be great opportunity for seamless tiled patterns. And I think this summer you're going to see this explode. So I think it's the perfect time to be thinking about it right now, and we're just getting into spring. This is the time to start launching products and developing new kind of product lines around this sort of thing. So Printify has a lot of these types of things, and you could just kind of vintage swimsuit style, right? You could just start designing one of these things. Okay, so we've just dropped in a file that we just generated on Midjourney, an AI art piece. And as you can see, it will warn you if it's low resolution on Printify, which is a great feature that will tell you that you ought to go to an external image enhancer or upsizer, upscaler. So if you drag and drop your image into your AI image enlarger or any other site out there, there are dozens, hundreds of them, then we will get the upscaled version pretty quickly. So we've upscaled an image, and basically we've got this kind of piece of AI generated art that we've got a seamless pattern for, that we've dropped in here. We got the low resolution message, and we probably would know in advance that we're going to be upscaling it and do it first, but this is just kind of a nice little piece of insurance that I wanted to show you guys here. And you can drag and drop. Okay, so we've just added an upscaled version, and again, the output of the AI art, you know, you may get a higher or lower resolution piece of art, and you may need to upscale it more depending on what you're making. So let's just look at a preview here. What you're going to get in something like this is going to look drastically better as you size it to fit on a larger or irregular size template. So you're not just working with a square or a rectangle like with a shirt, but some of these types of things, and as you go to different sizes, plus sizes and things like that, you'll need to have a high resolution, scalable, seamless print that you can put on here that will be almost ready to go, or ready to go, like depending on whether you want to work with the seams. Like if you look at this, I mean, it looks good, I think, if this is the type of design that you're looking for, I mean. And you could do a little work on it in Photoshop, like along with any of these things, but I think a lot of people would just launch this product as is. So Printful also offers bikinis and swimsuits and other types of things like that. I have used Printful for swimwear before, and I've had some success with it. So as you can see, prints are very popular on swimsuits. How you're showing off the article of clothing is more of a 360-degree experience, and having a pattern that goes around it is kind of much more appropriate than just something that's going to be the center of the chest or over the heart type of design, right? As you can see from this type of thing. So the same idea, you could just drag and drop your file into here using the product template and using a pattern that you created with Midjourney. I'm not going to go into too much more about this, but after you create it, you can of course use the seamless texture checker. You may find it's not necessary with Midjourney 5, but you can drop something into here and you can see how it's going to look. So that's another tool that you guys could use. But other than that, I would say go experiment with it and think about some of these all over print and larger canvas types of products that aren't just a rectangle on a shirt, and how a seamless tiled pattern can really be so much quicker and be a great opportunity for your print on demand business. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to my channel, please. It's a new channel and I do need kind of your support. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Leave me comments if you have questions. So thanks again and take care.